Okay, we're going to do two examples using the percent equation. So here's our example. Helen and George are veterinarians. One week, 50% of the dogs Helen sees were boxers. The same week, 7 of the 35 dogs George sees were boxers. Helen and George each want to find the part, the whole, and the percent. 50% of the 16 dogs Helen sees were boxers. So does Helen need to find the part, the whole, or the percent? Go ahead and pause the video and figure out which one Helen needs to find. Good, Helen needs to find the part. 50% is already a percent, so we already know that one. And it says of the 16 dogs, so that means that's all the dogs she saw, which is the whole. So we're missing the part. Let's use our percent equation to fill it in to figure out which one the part would be. So the percent needed to be turned into a decimal. So it's 0.50. The whole is 16 because that's everything. And we're missing the part, so we're going to call that P. So let's rewrite it like an equation. So we're going to multiply 0.5, which is the same as 0.50, times 16. So go ahead and multiply that to see what you get. You should get 8. Now I want you to think about this. 50% is half of 100, right? 16, what's half of 16? Oh, it's 8. So that's why it's 8 dogs. It's half of the whole amount. 7 of the 35 dogs George sees were boxers. Does George need to find the part, the whole, or the percent? So go ahead and pause the video and see which one he needs to find. He needs to find the percent. 7 is not a percent. 35 is not a percent. So that's the one we're missing. So let's fill it into our percent equation. So we have the part. Which number is the part, the 7 or the 35? Yes, it's the 7, because part is always the smaller part of it, because whole is the whole entire thing. We're going to say P for percent because we're missing that. And 35 is our whole because it's every dog. So I rewrote it the way that I filled it in, but I don't like that because the coefficient goes first. Let's try to think about which one the coefficient is. Remember, the coefficient is the number being multiplied by the variable. The variable is the letter. Yes, so I'm multiplying 35 times P. 35 is the coefficient. So let's rewrite it so that the coefficient goes first, because that is the correct way to write our problem. Now let's solve it. So because 35 is a multiplication problem times P, we're going to do the opposite, which is divide. Now we always get rid of the number that's closest to the variable. So 35 is closest to the variable, so I'm going to divide both sides of the equation by 35. And then I'm going to cancel out the two 35s that are together because they equal 1. So now I have a division problem on the other side. 7 divided by 35. Let me show you how to do that. All right, here's our division problem. We're going to drop the 7 in the house. So the 7 goes inside the house and the 35 goes outside. And there we have our division problem. Now 35 does not go into 7. So we add a decimal and a 0. And we bring our decimal straight up. And 35 goes into 70 2 times. So our answer is 0.2. And we got our answer was 2/10. Now remember how we're missing the percent? So we want to turn that 2/10 into a percentage. Remember the other video that said that we have to move our decimal point 2 times? So let's do that. We're going to move it 1, 2 times. And what goes in that blank space? A 0. So what is our percentage? 20% of George's dogs were boxers. Perfect. We got it all done.